This is how Liam Ottley has been able to make $5 million plus in 2 years, leveraging his personal brand in a narrative that's been picking up a lot recently, AI, and how he's been able to do it. We're going to be breaking down his entire funnel hacking, everything of which allowed him to get to this scale in terms of the high ticket sales and his mentorship offer, but also his traffic system to figure out what are the types of content that are converting these people to the best way so that you know his entire funnel and can implement something like this as well if you want to. Now, that being said, let's dive straight into it. Liam Otley has capitalized on AI agencies. And what's interesting to note here is that he took a business model which has worked, and has been very hot in the past, which is agencies, and he combined it with a narrative which just picked up and is probably the hottest narrative right now, which is AI. And he combined these two together and built a personal brand which picked up a lot of steam and allowed him to get to 600,000 subscribers. Now, he mentioned on one of his YouTube videos as well how he was able to make $5 million plus leveraging YouTube alone. He's got his social channel on Instagram, on Twitter, but the ones that he's pushing the most for and the ones that are actually getting traffic and nurturing people in the best way is his YouTube ecosystem. Now, he puts out two types of content. We've got his mainstream AI agency content styles, which are videos that last 10 to 30 minutes, like these here, and they speak about one particular problem for that duration of time. And that, again, makes it really friendly for someone who has that problem, who types that into the organic YouTube search bar to then stumble across him and be funneled into his content ecosystem. Now, the one that's been working the best, which he also mentioned himself, is his long form full courses guides that he makes. This is these videos here, which as you can see, they last more than an hour. These last almost 4 hours, 6 hours, almost 2 hours, right? And the first example is he made one on how to buy and sell AI agents for beginners. 4 hours long. It's basically a free course that he puts out, and the whole purpose with this is to get to nurture people and get them familiar with him as an expert in the field, but also to give value, see results, and by the end of it, want to take the next step so that they can start seeing more results. And once you have had a positive experience with someone, right, you want to see how you want to have closer proximity to him to learn and get more value. And this is how he converts people essentially. As you can see from this video, he posted this 4 months ago and was able to get 1.3 million views on a 4 hour long video. It's crazy. Even with the other ones, his AI agency masterclass, 6 hours long, almost 200,000 views in 3 months, and so on. So this is the type of content that has worked best for him to not only convert the people that he gets from the other types of videos, but then to funnel them into, at the end of the videos and in the descriptions, onto his two ecosystems that further nurture them even more. One is a school community, which is a free course community, and two is directly applying for his mentorship, which costs $5,500. Now, starting off with the free school community, this is what he always pushes on the first link in the description and what he looks to get people into, because it's essentially one of the biggest and leading communities in the AI space that exists out there. It's got 220,000 members. You can see it's very active, and the reason he's been able to get so many members is because he makes it a no-brainer reason to join, right? He's basically offering a full complete course in addition to what he's already doing in YouTube, but just more structured and more felt like as if it's not just a free piece of content on a YouTube ecosystem, but somewhere else. So you get the 60 videos of content included, weekly Q&As with Liam himself, more templates and resources for each of the modules, and of course the network where you can actually not only speak to other AI agency owners or people, entrepreneurs who, have something similar to with you, but also He sells us as a point that there might be other potential partners or people looking for AI infrastructures, so leads that you can find on this platform too. And with this mini VSL type video that he's got in there, he's also able to convert people and let them know of the opportunity of AI and the money that can be made with it to get them to join. So the whole purpose with getting people onto the group is then once they have qualified people in there, that they either reach out to via the setters, right, via the admins of the groups, or via the CTAs of the community posts where they can speak to them more directly and also collect their email data. The whole goal is to funnel them into the mentorship program. The same is up here, right? If they go straight to the mentorship program, what they see is a landing page with a VSL which is longer and essentially indirectly sells his product, and he explains why this program is so superior and it stands out. And he touches on the fact that they offer one-on-one coachings, as you can see here, with different coaches for every single pillar of what you need to succeed in the AI agency model. So you can have one-on-one coaches for development, for sales, personal branding, outreach, success manager, and then also weekly coaching calls with Liam himself, which, you know, he put it in a way to be able to scale this model without being capped on the time that he has to put in. So he's done a fantastic job. Even in the video himself, he says one of the biggest selling points for him to get people enrolled is so that they in the future can utilize his AI product that he's come up with, right? That's his selfish motive to convert people, and so that he can only get them enrolled onto his software AI and make money from that if they see results in the program. But obviously we know he's going to be making money from that, but the real cash driver is the info mentorship programs itself. So that's interesting to note. We then have the calendar, classic, right? You can only book yourself in up to 3 days, up to 72 hours, which makes sure that people show up. They're in a state of mind ready to take action, right? This is what you want to have. Pure testimonial and Trustpilot reviews. Trustpilot, very strong, definitely taken more serious than normal reviews, even though nowadays, you know, these could be technically adjusted as well, but he's got way more reviews than what's shown on there. These are just screenshots I put together of the landing page to give a walkthrough. And then when you click on the calendar and you want to book yourself in, the interesting thing to know that this discovery call only lasts 15 minutes as opposed to the normal 45-minute long sales calls that you're going to have. And the reason he's able to pull this off is because, as you're going to see in the later sections, he's able to qualify the people and get them mentally invested into the program and in a state of buying where he doesn't have to keep the sales calls that long because he's able to get all of the info. So that's also very interesting to see, and he keeps essentially an efficient sales process that doesn't take too much time for the sales reps. Now, once you want to book yourself in, usually you've got qualification questions right off the bat, right? But what he does is essentially just a strict cancellation policy checkbox, where he states also in the video afterwards that there's a strict no-show policy, where if you don't show, you get banned and you can't reschedule back in the future, just to make sure that show-up rates are as high as possible. And then afterwards, you get with your after booking confirmation page. So he hits you with a 5-minute long video, which this one in particular is really strong. I suggest you check it out, but I've broken it down now and I'm going to walk you through why it's so strong. Of course, includes more Trustpilot reviews, right? And then basically what it includes in the video is that he asks you to take 2 action steps, which is normal and you see across other creators as well. Really effective. Asks the prospects to confirm their attendance on the call through 1, the email, and 2, their Google Calendar. So here's already getting them invested to not only show up, but to take action and unconsciously and consciously be ready to show up. 2, he provides him with a bonus, right? A Google Doc, part of his program already. So he's already providing value up front. And what's interesting about this in particular is he chose something that, again, is going to increase the show-up rate because it helps the prospect figure out their unfair advantage based on their particular situation, right? Based on the connections they have, the expertise they have, and allows them to understand how they can leverage this business model to the best way and make the most amount of money in the shortest time by filling informations and reflecting on their situation themselves. And this is what he also asks people to fill out to show up to the call. But at the end of the document, and just bear in mind this document is 6 pages long, I believe. I took screenshots of free. At the end of it, he has a section where he also states, one, if you want to take the next step to sign clients and now leverage, right, your situation, open this up, right? And this is going to show you the next steps. And when you open it, you're put into a portal where, again, you can only access it if you've got access to the program. So now you've already gotten a feel of what the program is and you want to be eager to take the next step, but you can't because you're not signed in. So one, it increases the incentive to show up on the call again, but also gets people invested and eager to actually join. And what he also includes is a Loom video on how to navigate this particular document, right? This section right here is just 3 minutes long. And it's, again, further touch points that the prospect has of hearing his voice, getting a walkthrough, right? Having a personalized touch, and improves the touch points and the state of actually wanting to join in the end of the day. Now, the third section, which is really powerful, is he explains why the prospect needs his program in particular. So he puts out a formula, we can call it, right? And also a section where he says this formula that sells directly his program has been made up by Alex Hormozi. And he says how Alex Hormozi speaks about this, right? And he includes a screen recording where he was able to have a call with him and leverages the goodwill and branding of Alex Hormozi as an entrepreneur, because all of the other entrepreneurs know Alex Hormozi, right? He's got a lot of great reputation and a lot of people look up to him. So he leverages Alex Hormozi's goodwill to essentially sell his program, right? Because Alex Hormozi came up with this system, and he then goes to explain you can have all of the inputs, so all of the money, the connections, the relationships, the time, but if you don't have the processes, which is essentially all of the bits in his program, right, to make money in the AI agency space, you're not going to get a lot of output. However, if you do have the processes, so if you do aka have access to the program, but you have minimal inputs, right? Whether that's the time you've got available, the money, the connections, with the right processes in place, you will achieve way more output. So in this way, he indirectly sells his program, makes it stand out, but also leverages the goodwill of Alex Hormozi that everyone knows, and that also builds more social proof for Liam himself and puts him as an authority as well for being able to have this call. So really powerful, done. And bear in mind, this is all in 5 minutes. So by the time the people watch the 5 minutes, interact, confirm that they're going to show up to the call, see the document, are ready to fill it out afterwards, see the authority, and then see the testimonials at the very end of it, where he walks through how, students have been able to close $26,000 contracts, $3,600 contracts. The person sees all of the results and is ready and eager to hop on the call and get signed up. Now, in terms of the numbers, what is he making? His offer price, as we said, is $5,500. And in the video himself, when he goes through the testimonials, he states how he's been able to help more than 1,500 AI agency owners in the program. Now, in one of his latest YouTube videos where he shows how he made more than $5 million leveraging his personal YouTube brand, he says he's been able to help over 2,000 people. So this is just for us to have a reference point on, the amount of money that he has made from his info side of things, because of course he's making money from his AI software and, his agency himself. But the reality is the greatest bulk and chunk of this money made comes from the info side of things. And let's run back some numbers. So let's say he converted those 1,500 people, not the 2,000, just the 1,500 at $5,500. That alone means he would have made $8 million and a quarter in just 2 years, in 24 months. Let's just say we went conservative, right? Because people can always come up with numbers. And let's just say he only helped 750 people, half of the numbers that he mentioned earlier. That would net him $4 million that he would have made, again, in the 24 months, which is just crazy to think about. And he's the prime example of someone who's come in, took a narrative that was big, built a big personal brand around, and crushed it with info products. Now, it's also important to mention he's got an upsell for all of his members that get enrolled into his membership, and it's a subscription price, right? So that you can continue having access to the community and coaches and video libraries, because once you join, you only got access for a certain amount of months. And as soon as that expires, to maintain your access, you got to pay $200 a month to stay enrolled. Now, we don't know how many people are enrolled in here, but let's just do some quick maths and say we took the most conservative number of he only converted those 750 people, even though he probably did 1,500 or 2,000 as he stated in the videos. Out of those 750 people, if he only converted 20% of the people, roughly about 200 people, right? And we times that by $200, that's $40,000 in monthly recurring revenue he's making, in addition, every single month to what he's already making on the info side of things. And let's bear in mind that most likely he indeed has, right, the 1,500 people, the 2,000 people, which means most likely he's making at least 2.5x that amount. So he could easily be making $100,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue just from the upsells that he implements to keep the people in the community afterwards. And that's another $1.2 million a year he would be making from this MRR play. And this is the funnel of Liam Ottley and his education empire in the AI space, and how he's been able to generate more than $5 million in 2 years.